this first project, we are going to be personalizing some little ornaments and adding a twist to it. So I feel like if you have kids, maybe grandkids, you might know parents tend to keep, you know, like their first hat, maybe from the hospital. There's tons of little things like the hospital bracelet in here, an ultrasound photo, stuff like that. And a really fun way of keeping it and showing it instead of just having it in a box somewhere is putting it in a bulb like this and having it out for Christmas time. And then when the kids are older, I can give it to them and they can do what they want with it. So what I did was I picked up one of these bulbs from my local dollar store. You could get these at Michael's. I found them at my local Dollarama if you're in Canada, and they're just plastic bulbs, quite large. So what I did was I took the baby hat, the ultrasound photo I rolled up and put in there. The other things I slid in, but the baby hat, I went ahead, oh, I do have something stuck in there that I need to get out. For the baby hat, I went ahead and I took a Sharpie and I slowly, with the end of the Sharpie, pushed it in. So I just needed something like a pen or something that I was able to put it through the hole and fit it. And then I got the hat in there. So that's what I did for both of them. And now I'm just going to put the kids' names on it. So I'm gonna set these aside for now. And we're gonna hop on over to Cricut Design Space. Perfect, so we're gonna go on over to Cricut Design Space and I'm going to the left-hand side where it says text. Now I am just going to type in 2 names and then I'll change the font as well. I personally like right now the font Candy Christmas. It's my favorite one. I will leave it linked down below, but I think it's so pretty. So I think I'm going to go with this one. And I'm just a visual crafter, so I like to change the color. I'm going to do the same with the other name and have it like that. Perfect. Now I just want to kind of check the measurements of it. 5, yep, that will do. Perfect. So that is that. For that one, it's done. That was quite honestly it. Now I do think I want to do like a little bit of an offset perhaps to it, to just add a little something. So we're going to go up to offset here at the top, and I am going to change it to 0.10. I just want a really thin little offset around it, and we are going to make it white. And then we're going to do the same with this bottom name as well. Now this just makes it stand out even more, and it really just elevates your project and looks a lot more professional, I feel like. So we have these in their colors that we need them, so that's perfect. We're ready to set and make it. So we are going to select our material, which is vinyl, and I'm ready to load my mat. It is prompting me with the flashing arrow, so I'm going to click on that. And then once the flashing C, or depending which Cricut you have, it might be the flashing play button, you're going to go ahead and press that, and it's going to do its thing. And when it's done, it will let you know to unload your mat. We have it cut out. I've unloaded my mat. So to take your vinyl off your mat, make sure your surface is clean so you don't have things sticking down. You're going to flip the mat upside down, put your hand on the material, and pull it away. Don't worry, the mat is pretty flexible. And this makes it so that your vinyl isn't bent and all curled up. So now we're going to put on the black that we're going to be using. I know half my head is chopped off. It's okay. Again, I'm going to line it up because as you can see here, it's not quite to the top. And this is a great way to use up your scraps and things like that. I'm going to cut this out the same way I just did, and then I'll be back once it's done cutting. Now that I have all of the vinyl cut out, I'm going to remove it from my mat. Then cut away the portions that I need. We're making a mess in the craft space. It's okay, that's the fun of it. So we have it all here and ready to go. So now that we have this, we're going to just start weeding out. So I'm using my Cricut weeding pick, but I also have my weeding pin pen from TeckWrap. I love it. It's just like the holy grail of weeding vinyl. So weed your vinyl. And if you're curious, the vinyl that I'm using is the permanent adhesive vinyl, the Oracle 651. I picked it up at Michael's. It is my go-to because it's so easy to find it in the craft stores. I just see it everywhere and I love it. So for transfer tape, you can actually reuse it, which is a really great little hack if you are looking to save some money or just, you know, get more craft supplies with the money that you might be saving, reuse your transfer tape. You can reuse it a lot of times actually. So the first one I'm going to stick down is the top layer. Now there are a lot of little hacks to layer vinyl, and I have shared them before, and we can do that more another day, but I just kind of do it, eyeball it. That's my personal preference, but, ooh, hello. But you do whichever way you prefer. So I kind of eyeball it, and I don't stick it down all the way yet until it is where I want it. So there we go. It's where I want it. I'm going to use my little scraper to get it on there. And then we are going to peel it up. So just flip it upside down again. Gravity is your best friend with stuff like this. So we're just going to peel it up. It just goes right off there. If I were to pull it the other way, it tends to get stuck a lot. So peel it backwards. Then we're just going to put it on here, and when you're doing a surface that is circular, you want to start in the middle, push down that part with your fingers, because your finger is going to be able to go around the edges, whereas your scraper will not be able to. And you're going to work one side at a time. So I'm slowly going with my finger back and forth along and following the letters as I go. So if you need to peel it up a little bit, that's okay. Peel it up a little bit and then stick it back on there. Get all those little air bubbles out. I'm really excited actually because TeckWrap just recently came out with a new bubble vinyl, and it's supposed to get rid of those air bubbles that you might be getting under your vinyl. I know a lot of crafters do struggle with that, and so I'm excited to try that out. At this point, I probably have already tried it out by the time this video goes up, and I'm filming it on a live, so it will be uploaded. If you're curious, it'll be one of the lives that I've filmed recently, probably the most recent one. So it is on there now. And I like to go in with my hands and push it on there, but you can also go in with your scraper. And then we're going to peel it up. Now there might be a few air bubbles here and there, and you can get them out a couple of ways. One ways is just poking a little hole and pushing it down. Another way is you can actually just kind of peel it up gently and push it back down. You can use your little scraper. Some people like to go in with like a blow dryer and do it with a heat source, and it kind of just flattens it out and like molds it or melts it to, you know, the project. Again, be careful because whatever blank you're using will get heated as well. So I kind of go in like this and do it. And it does air bubbles because I did a very large font or size of font, and so because I did very large size letters, it's going over more, right? More of the curve. So anyway, this is what it ends up looking like. Super cute, and this is going to be adorable hanging on the tree. You could put like their birth stats on there. Obviously I'm not going to be doing that because this is going in a video, so if I'm going to do that, I'll add that separately. But I'm just reusing the same piece of transfer tape. You can see it's still super sticky. Same exact little method. If you are concerned about it rolling around, there are some ways to have it stick down. Sometimes you can just roll like a towel underneath it or something to hold it in place while you're adding your vinyl. I do that a lot for mugs and tumblers that I make, and that works really well. Slow and steady. Make sure we don't have those air bubbles in there. Awesome. So it's on there. Now I'm going to peel up the transfer tape. Okay, there we go. So we have our two little bulbs ready to go on the tree. How cute are these? Ah, I'm obsessed. Such a fun little craft to make, and it was very cheap, very easy, and they're not breakable. So if you have kids, it's awesome. Make sure you check out tomorrow's video because we are coming out with another Craftmas, so I'll see you then.